Okay, in this video we are going to talk about how to move the temp database. Always remember that a temp database always is recreated whenever your server restarts. Whenever you are going to restart a SQL server, all the temp DB is always recreated. So there is no point of actually backing up the temp DB, or no, do not try to actually save the temp DB, because temp DB always gets recreated. Okay, now let's go and actually move the temp DB to a new location. Here it is. I'm going to use the master, and I'm going to find out the location of the temp DB first. So the master is already selected, but anyway I will go and execute it. And again the SQL, as it says, okay, select temp DB, the file name, DB ID from DBO, and it actually gives me the, you can always go and use the SQL Server Management Studio and actually check it out, but this is the correct way of it for the database administrator to do it. Okay, here it is. And you can see that it has given me a path for the temp database. Actually, it has just given me for the master database. It is not given me for the log, but the log file also belongs in mostly in the same place most of the times. Anyway, right now I am going to show you. This is, let's go and actually check it out with this thing, SQL Server Management Studio. Go to the system database. Remember, there may be a situation when you actually want the people would, just a minute, you may like to actually hide system database. Here is the option. Go to the tools, go to the option, and it gives you actually here is the checkbox that says hide the system objects in the Object Explorer. If you click it, you check the checkbox here. Okay, it will actually hide the system database. However, it will not hide the system database until and unless you have restarted the SQL server. If you want to hide the system databases, here it is. Okay, I will just leave it as it is. As a topic came up, I just actually showed it to you. Okay, now let's go to the temp DB. Temp DB is actually where all the temporary database activities of the SQL server is done. You can always create temporary tables and other things like that here. And the indexing and other things of the SQL server may be using the temp DB for. Let's go to the temp DB and actually select the properties and go to the file pages. Here it is. As you can see, it shows the temp DB temp and temp log. This is the MDF folder and this is the LDF. Okay, and this is the primary file group. Actually, temp and the log file is never has any file group. Remember that thing. Okay, then other things I already explained to you in other videos what it is. I have the temp DB. Okay, let's actually go and look into the details. Okay, here is the location of the temp DB. Temp MDB I have shown you the SQL, and there is another actually with the LDF, that is a log file for the temp DB. Okay, I've just actually cancelled it here. Just wanted to show you where you can find it with this SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, I'll just cancel it here. Okay, now let's move to the actually moving the temp DB. Here it is. Here the syntax is. Now the thing is that I am going to execute this SQL system. It says alter database temp DB modify name, that is the temp dev, that is for the MDF file name. Okay, and the file where the path to the where actually the new location where I want this file to be actually going, and this is for the log file. Very simple syntax, nothing but actually exactly the replica of the upper line. But in this thing, there is a temp log name given and other things. Just actually changes the details of the file name and the path, just that and the file name. Okay, and the path remains the same. And I am going to execute this thing. And remember, after executing it, it's actually will tell me to actually restart the SQL server for the new existence, for the new location of the system, for new location of the temp database. Okay, here it is. The new path will actually be used the next time the database is restarted. Actually go to the system SQL Server configuration manager and actually go to the properties, and I'm going to restart this thing. As you can see that the server is getting restarted, it will shut down and it will restart again. Okay, once it is restarted, actually whenever I have already told you that whenever the server starts, it actually creates a temp DB. Because I have changed the location, now the temp DB would be created in the new place, as you can see. And I will just show it to you with the SQL as well as with the SQL Server Management Studio that actually I had moved the temp DB to the new place. This is very useful if you wanted to actually move the temp DB where a lot of actually temporary activities are being done to a new location which would not be your local, wherever you are actually using the master data, wherever you are using your user database. You want always your temp DB to be on a different, because there is going to be very lot of input and output activities going on the temp DB, and you don't want actually to be on the same disk. Here it is going to restart, and there it is restarted. I'll just close it down and I will just show it to you that the path has been actually moved to the new location. If you just go and run the SQL statement again at the top one, now it should actually give you the new path, the new location of the temp DB, and we will also go and check it with the SQL Server Management Studio. That is how actually you move the temp DB. Okay, just a minute, it has some error, it's showing up. Let's see why is going up. Okay, I do not know why it gave me error. Maybe because I've selected some of the syntax not correctly. Here it is actually the temp DB already is showing you a new location that we have moved the database to, and this is how actually you would like to move the temp DB. And if you want to go and check it out the SQL Server Management Studio, then again go to the temp DB, go to the properties, go to the file page and check out the location of the path of the temp DB. This is how we have moved the temp database to the new location. Here it is. As you can see, I have already moved the temp database to the new location. This is how actually you do it. Of course, you will always have to restart the SQL server. Remember that thing. Okay, I'll just end it here.